Hey people, I want to do a review of the Sheeran Looper Plus. I don't have the Looper X. I thought I'm not spending that much money on Looper, but I thought, my Digitech Jam Man is getting old and it's time to upgrade to something new. The only thing about the Jam Man that I didn't love is there's a slight latency that and I have the old Jam Man, not the newer one. But there was a slight latency when I would click it, and it just didn't seem to. It just was annoying to me. So I thought, well, it's time for a new looper. I'll try the Looper Plus. I've had a few other ones. I also have tried um, the Lakato looper. I've got one right here. And the thing I don't like about this is it's really hard to import files into. So, like if you have a drum loop, um, if you're using a Mac system, it works great. It's real easy to import. But if you're trying from a PC, there's some issues. Okay, so I'm having the exact same problem with the Sheeran Looper. Even if I name them using the format that they save things as, I can't import drum files to it. And I just take a standard wave drum file, drum loop, try to put it in here. It doesn't accept it. The other thing that I don't like about this looper is you can't turn down the volume of the loop. So like when you're playing, the loop volume oftentimes is louder than the actual guitar part that you're or keyboard or whatever part that you're putting in on top of it. So that's a real bad design flaw. I've worked around both of these issues. The first issue with putting the drum track in, and it works the same on the Lakato looper too, is you can, like I have drum tracks on my phone. I can plug my phone into the mixer that I'm running everything into and hit the drum track and record, and I can do that. The only problem is that you have to hit it just right, and you can't have any gaps or anything like that, or it just doesn't come out right. It's a workaround, but it's a real problem of a workaround. It's definitely not the best way to do it. The other thing that I've done to kind of work around the fact that there's no volume for the background is I run into the auxiliary. So I don't have a mixer that has two auxiliary outs. One auxiliary out I'm using for my effects board. Because I have several instruments and I like to use the effects on all of them, I run all my effects through that one aux out, and so that doesn't give me the option of putting the mixer, or I mean the looper, in an aux out. But I have a second little mixer that has an aux out as well. So what I've done is I've taken my big mixer and I've plugged it into the first two channels of my little mixer, and then the aux out of the little mixer I run the looper through, so that way I can control the volume with that. You shouldn't have to do that this way. And Ed probably had, well, I'm sure the Looper X probably has the feature to turn down the volume. But I have never seen a looper that doesn't allow you to control the volume of the loop. And it has it has a main out, a mic out, and an instrument out. And if I were going to update this, if I were the people that were building this, I would reassign or make a way to reassign the main out so you can make that the loop volume. And then you could switch back and forth. If you want it to be the main out, you could assign it to that. If you want it to be the loop out, you can assign it to that. The other thing is their manual is fairly good, but there's literally no information on there on how to import loops. I watched a couple YouTube videos and people were saying, "Oh yeah, you can just import your loops." I don't think they tried to import loops into the looper yet. Because the manual says that you can do it, but when you try to do it, it doesn't work. And perhaps it works with a Mac, but it does not work with a PC at all. Um, and I don't know if maybe, I mean, I'm just importing standard WAV files. And I tried to import an MP3, that didn't work. So I don't really know what type of file. So then I recorded a file, and I brought that into my computer, and I said, okay, I'm going to match everything I can about this. I matched the sample rate, I matched the name, I matched the type of file, all of that. And I redid a drum track on my computer, set the parameters exactly the same, saved it exactly the same, tried to copy it into the looper, and the looper still wouldn't accept it as a valid file for some weird reason. So that needs to be corrected. And if they could do a firmware update where they would fix that, if they would add directions to their manual on how to actually import stuff, that would be good. And if they would reassign that main, it's this one right here. I would show you the actual looper, but it's fixed to my board right now, and I don't really want to show you that. If they would reassign this button right here to be the loop volume and not the main volume, everything would be beautiful and good, and this would be actually usable. But as it is, I can't honestly recommend this. There are so many other loopers out there that do a better job, that are built well. I mean, I'm not going to lie, this is built well, but who cares? So was the Jam Man, and so is the Boss. It's like, I really regret buying this. I wish I had bought a Boss pedal instead. So if you're listening, Sheeran Looper people, whoever you are, which I think Headrush is actually the people that made this. Headrush, if you're listening, you need to fix those things. If you fix those things, you're going to have a great product, and I'll be happy to own it, especially if you can fix that in a firmware update. If you don't, I really can't recommend this to anybody. This is not a looper that any actual musician can use live. I mean, it's the couple features you have to be able to do it. You can't use it unless you have other gear that make it work. So I hope you have a great day. God bless you, and we'll see you in another video.